Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little craft involving this book right here, The Berenstain Bears Back to School. Wait, let me raise it up a little bit. And I have decided I'm going to coil bound this book because the inside is disheveled, it's broken. So if you've never been to my channel before, my name's Candace. I have 2 sons and I do a lot of stuff with homeschooling and all type of stuff, but today I'm doing a bit of a craft project and hopefully this works out. I have never coil bound a book before, a hardcover book, so we're going to see how it goes. I have my handy dandy cutter that I'm going to be using. If you hear my son in the background, he's reading, so bear with us. But I'm going to attempt to do this in the less difficult way that I can. I might not even be able to cut this with this cutting machine. I might only be able to do the pages. So I'm just looking to see if it's even going to work. First of all, if I try to cut with this cutter, is it even strong enough? And if you already know it's not strong enough, shh, I'm about to figure out. I'm about to figure out by myself. You judge me in a minute. Okay, let me try to straighten it. Oh my gosh, he was right. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to do that part last. And I have some scissors as well. These are my sewing scissors I usually use. So we're gonna see first if I can kind of disassemble the pages. And if I'm doing this completely wrong, I just want you to bear with me and laugh along the way as I figure this out. And hopefully at least I gave you a good laugh for tonight. I almost want to rip it out since it's so, like, you know, far removed from the binding. I love how my son's like all the way in the other room, yet I can still hear him as if he's in here with me. You probably don't hear him at all actually, but for me, I'm like, dude, you trying to make sure I can hear you. Alrighty, so it's almost completely removed from the binding on this side. Let's see about this side. We love us some Berenstain Bears, I will tell you that. And so this is an act of love, even though it doesn't look like it. Because I saw this book at the library for free. There we go. And I really wanted it because we have been adding like each book to our collection. I actually won't even keep this first page actually if I don't have to. Oh my gosh, how am I gonna remove these? No, that's gonna be the hard part. Yeah, we've been collecting the books for quite some time now, so I could not leave it. It wasn't in terrible condition. It was just that I noticed the binding was messed up. My leg is itching. Oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna show my kids that I have the book. We read it tonight, and then I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go on a whole adventure to try to unbind this book and coil bind this book so that we can keep the book, because I do not want to throw it away since we found it. I think we have over 10 different books so far, and then we have 2 giant books that have like 5 to 8 stories in them. I think it's like 8. So we really love it. When I was a kid, I feel like my voice choked. I actually had so many, and then I had many that I would borrow from the library. The library has always been the best friend of my family, and I love reading them. I would reread these stories over and over again. You would think that I would get bored, but no, I've always thought the authors, Stan and Jan Berenstain, and eventually their son, Mike Berenstain, were very good at making interesting stories that keep you engaged and curious and learning all at the same time. Using bears, using animals. And when I got older and I started showing my kids their books and I started even researching them, I found out a little bit more about them and who they were. And I never knew that they were actually also illustrators. I didn't realize into researching that they actually were drawing these characters, and they were doing storyboards for these books to create all of these character scenes. And for me, that just melted my heart, because I love reading, but I also love writing. And to know that they had their hand in the writing and the illustration is just, for me, that was like a game changer. It made me fall in love with the series all the more, because I felt like they put so much intentionality into their work. And they have hundreds of copies, if you didn't already know. Some of them you can get at a reasonable price, like at a secondhand store. But also, there's another place that I've seen a lot of them, especially from their son, on christianbook.com. They have a lot, and he started making stories with the same characters, of course, but some that are even more Bible based and things like that, which is really nice. I still love the original ones as well, with all the different stories. But yeah, I love that you can get them in those places for very reasonable prices and everything. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this without having to rip the pages. Maybe I just have to cut down the middle or something once and not have to do so many, because I don't really want to cut much. I just want to preserve it as much as I can. You would think I wrote this as much as I'm trying to protect it, but for me, that's how much I honor and respect their work. Maybe I can use a cutter for this part. Okay, let's see. So this is the first part. I might even have to redo the voiceover for this, depending on how loud everything is with me moving it about. But let's see. I'm gonna put this under, and this is the first part of the book. We're gonna try to make it even and cut right down the middle. Let's raise that so I can find the middle. This might be too many pages. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna go over time. Yes, it worked. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. Alright, so that's one. Oops, sorry. Shook you guys. Got some of this extra bit on the ends of these pages. But at least these two are separated. Let's see. Yeah. So they're for the most part separated. I can do this a little bit more for each one. But yes. So that's the first part. Awesome. Now we're going to do the second part. I might have to cut this one twice. Or no, I just have to get to a better middle page. Which I think this one is already free. Yeah. So we're going to turn, oops, try not to mix up the pages. We're going to turn that one this way and this that way. And then we're going to cut right down the middle again. Right about here. You know what, low-key, I can make this a series of like finding certain books that I really want, but I would have to coil bind to save. I don't know why I would want to do that, but I don't know. I'm so encouraged by the fact that this is not completely failing. That I'm like, looky, this wouldn't be terrible to do twice. But yeah, as I was saying, sorry, keep shaking you guys. As I was saying, you know, Berenstain Bears has always had a special place in my heart. And on top of it being a wonderful series, I love that they have the show. If you look on YouTube, you can actually find the episodes for the stories, which is amazing. And it's not for every single story, because like I said, they have tons and tons of stories, but it's for a lot of them. I might have to get my big scissors for this part. We're gonna see once I remove this if I can just do this. Just throw that on the floor, because I'll sleep at some point. Let's just shake it and see if this cutter is made for this job. I need to get a new cutter, but I have not desired to make that investment yet. So this baby has been just rocking with me for the moment. Let's see if it worked. Almost. It's so close. Can I rip it? Let's see. Is this a good idea? It worked. Oh my gosh. I hope my binding machine can bind this, seeing as it's so hard. We're gonna see, guys. I'm feeling very encouraged right now. This is so fun. I was having a rough night tonight with my kids. Trying to get them to bed can be a little bit challenging the first night they come back from their dad's. This is pretty encouraging, not gonna lie, and gave me something to do outside of just washing those dishes that are staring at me from the other room. For some reason, this one did not cut through at all. It didn't feel like, let's see, am I tripping or did it not cut? Let's see. Okay, it made a line, which at least it's making it a little bit easier to take it off. Okay, so that part's now off. A little janky, but it's okay. That's why I got these handy dandies little scissors to get some of the edges off. My son is still awake reading. He did not want to go to sleep right away, my oldest. But guess what he's reading? A Berenstain Bears book. He literally asked for it. I was like, if you could not want to go to sleep right away, what would you want to read? And this was the choice. Look at all the other ones they got. Let's see which ones I've read. I think I've read this one. This is obviously this book. I don't think I read this one. I don't think I've read this one or this one, but these are all by Stan and Jan Berenstain. And I used to love going to the library too to get the books because they had so many pictures on one book. I was always like, oh my gosh, look at that one and this one. Oh my gosh. It would always be like something new. So I think I can actually cut this one down a little bit because I want it to match where the pages are. So actually I can cut this part down a bit. Right here. I'm just praying my binding machine can handle this much cardstock. I don't think I've had something this thick for it before, but I'm gonna put on some work for it today. I am determined to create this into a book. I think this might be more for me than my kids, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it started out for them, but I'm feeling like low-key it's turning into something I'm really excited about. So maybe it's for me too. Let me get the binding machine. Alright, so this is my big binding machine. I love this thing so much. It's amazing. I even wrote little things depending on like the book size that I needed. And so this is cool because depending on where you are, you can pull out the ones you don't want it to be on. Like this right here would make it have a half a hole if I kept this one pushed in, so I took that out, and so everything else is good. So I'm just gonna, let me first do a test just to make sure, because I ain't got no time to be making a mistake on the cover. So I'm just pushing it against there to see how the holes will look. Let's see. Yep, they are even. They're on both sides. All right. Now I'm just going to make sure I push against it so that it's completely towards the back. And it already feels thick in there. All right, Lord, let this work. Let this work. I'm so determined. All right. We'll be straight. Oh my gosh, they're kind of slanted. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Could have been a little bit closer, but it's okay. It's still not off the edge completely, because I've had moments where I was making holes and it was completely off and I just wanted to cry. So I'm just trying to separate the pages first so that they don't get snagged as much, because sometimes they'll get snagged if they're not separated well. Alright, let this work, Lord. Let it work. Why does that one seem like it? Okay, so slightly this one. Got it. Oh, the paper's a little bit. Got to pull that one out for the inside pages. But look, pretty good so far. It's okay. Mistakes are okay. At least it's working. I went into this thinking I was going to ruin the book. Completely. Worse than it was even in this first stage. So I think I'm doing an okay job. I'm just trying to take some of the extra glue off the edges and the thread that they thread it with, so that it doesn't get caught in the back when it's trying to make the hole. One thing I love about the world we're in right now is crafting is so like normalized. Crafting is the best. So I just love that for people who are crafters or artistic. There's like so many avenues of sharing your work and creativity that used to be like looked at as foolish or not worth pursuing. But even people who do stuff like this for a living, like they can make a video and people will be fascinated by it. The world has shifted from when I was a kid, and I'm grateful for that part. There's ups and downs to all of our advancements, but that part I'm grateful for, because I think a lot of people were actually living in like a place of not really loving what they were doing ever, because they always felt like they had to just do it one way, like having just a job and that's it, and you can never pursue creativity. But oh gosh, I hope I even went through it. Nope, I didn't. I have to somehow push this further. Oh gosh, Lord, let this work. I know the chipboard is much stronger. Now, if y'all couldn't tell how hard that was, I'm gonna tell you that was hard. But it did it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, it low-key needed another hole. Should I go in for another? Yeah, we just gonna one more time. Just gotta put that one in. Remember last time the other half needed one more? That one was a lot easier, which means they went into the right holes. Because if it had made new holes, it low-key would have been harder. Alright. Now, it's not perfect. We're not gonna lie. I'm not lying. So you don't have to lie. But this is a good job. I think this went well. Now let's try to put the binding on and see what happens. Okay. We're gonna have a little bit of offness. A little bit. But for the most part, this is perfection. In my eyes. And I'm a lot more, a lot less critical than other people. So for me, this is a good job. Because I tried. I low-key want to do this one again. I think the cover, hold on. I think the cover needed to be lower. That's what it is. It doesn't need this part. Okay, we're just gonna try something. I don't know if it's gonna work out though if I do it like that. Let's see, I'm just gonna try to push it further. Like I had to do the bottom part low key to get all the way in there and see what happens. Again, if that looked hard, I want you to know it was. Okay, see, the holes are actually supposed to be here. And I don't want to completely cut this off because then it'll make the holes open. So that's how it's supposed to be. Now, is it perfect? No. Am I pleased? Yes. Yes, I am. Am I excited to tell my kids about this? Yes, I am. Okay, I'm trying to just match it up. Sometimes that'd be the hard part, to match up all the holes that I just made. And because the cover is smaller, the cover is, it basically has one more hole on each side. I should have thought about that. I should have just kept the holes away on the edges so they can be exact. I have to really be a little mindful. Hold on, let me at least start it so you can see. Alright, so I got to start it finally. This is a 10 millimeter coil, by the way, and although I have this spinny thing, I'm not gonna lie, I have never been able to figure out how to make that thing work properly. Like, it actually seems like it takes longer to go that route sometimes. So I'm just going to use my hands to coil bind it, and just say, you know, this is just an example that sometimes in order to get good at something, you have to be willing to try it first and not do the best at it. I could have been like, no, I'm not going to try this. Hold on, I got one of these sheets I missed. Oh no, this is just the top cover. I could have been like, no, I'm not going to try this because I might make a mistake, or I might not look the way I want, or, you know, this or that, or whatever excuse. Hold on, I'm talking too much, I'm not paying attention. Whatever excuse I could have given myself and been like, no, there's no use of trying something new. But in order to learn, you have to be willing to mess up. You have to make mistakes, because you don't just learn from the teaching, you learn from when you don't always do it properly. You learn a new way to do something, and then you learn how to perfect it. Even chefs, like, they weren't always the best at what they cooked. They may have made a mistake, made something too salty, made something too sweet, made something a little bit overcooked. But in that mistake, they learned, okay, one less minute. They learned, okay, a pinch less of this or a pinch more of this, and till it was perfected into the beautiful thing that everybody now so greatly enjoys. So God has continuously taught me to enjoy the process and not fight the journey. So this is the book. I'm so happy. Now we have it. I'm just going to cut the ends. I have a cutter for it that this machine came with. And this is the book. Let me show you real quick how I cut it. The pages are a little bit off. Like I said, we learning. But this was good. Alright, so this is the tool, and you know how to use it because you use it on the red dot side. And so when you use it, you have it like turned this way, and wherever you want to cut, you basically cut it and then kind of turn it towards the left, because you want this part to, can you see? You want this part to like bend this way. Let me show you again. So you flip it around because, again, you want it to be able to cut with this red dot at the top visible. And so I'm going to cut right here. You just squeeze and twist to the left because you want that little part to turn. Is there a way to make you see this better? There we go. You want that part to turn inward so it's not getting caught. And there you have it. Oh my gosh, I am so happy. Thanks for watching. Bye.